Welcome to the High School Huddle. My name is Brandon Chapman. I'm joined by Ryan Aber. He's the lead prep writer for the Oklahoman. And it's the first week of high school football playoffs, which get underway this Friday. So let's preview Class 2A. Ryan, who do you feel like is the favorite in this class?
Well, it's hard to say again here. I think the perception, at least going in, is that Heritage Hall is the favorite. They really haven't been tested a whole lot this year. They played a tough schedule, but really rolled over everybody that they played. Now, there's some questions over whether Turner Peterson, their great quarterback and defensive back, is healthy. You know, if he's out, then that brings their candidacy into question. But I pick Lincoln Christian in this bracket, and I think they're a little bit underrated maybe.
So would you consider them the sleeper? I know a lot of us picked Heritage Hall.
I think you'd have to call Lincoln Christian a sleeper right now, though I don't think anybody who's actually seen them play or even talked to people who've seen them play would call them a sleeper, because they've really just run over teams. They lost one game. It was to an Arkansas team who is dominant over there in an even bigger classification, and didn't lose that badly. But you'd probably have to call Lincoln Christian a sleeper team, although it's hard to pin that label on them.
All right. Well, are there any other sleeper teams you feel like are in this bracket?
Well, I think you look at, there's a lot of teams. You know, Chandler, Heritage Hall, Sulphur, Vian, teams that you hear year in and year out. Now, we really haven't heard a whole lot about Millwood this year. Traditional power, usually you hear about them in state championship conversations, and we really haven't heard a whole lot about that this year. And I really think that the Falcons do have a shot to not only get to the finals, but possibly win them a state championship.
All right. Well, who do you feel like has the toughest road to the final?
Well, I think for me it'd have to be Sulphur. Sulphur gets a relatively easy first-round game. They play a under 500 Hobart, but they could face Lexington, Lincoln Christian, and Heritage Hall just to get to the finals if they're fortunate enough to do that.
All right. Prediction time. Give me a championship game matchup and a champion.
I'm going to go with Lincoln Christian against Chandler. Lincoln Christian has just been so tough this year. I talked to John Merrill, the coach at CHA, who has actually seen both of those teams play, and he just said that he really thought Lincoln had the best athletes across the board, and he said he thought Heritage Hall had a great team, but Lincoln is just that good. And they're in their first year of the OSSAA, and it looks like they're going to make a big mark really quick. And Chandler, just their offense has been so tough this year. Jack Gray, the great quarterback that they have. Their defense has been suspect at times, but I think their offense is good enough to get them in the finals.
All right, Ryan. Well, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you for watching this playoff edition of the High School Huddle on the Dodge Sports Desk. Tune in next week as we preview week 2 of the high school playoffs.